like my brother, you know what I'm saying, my brother. Man, come on, dog. He's doing a good thing, and we out here looking up to that. You know what I'm saying? And for that reason, man, he's everybody's sibling who likes this kind of thing and who's into this kind of thing. Another one of these siblings, I would guess, but yeah, I don't know. Is my boy DDG. DDG Live did perform with Ty Dolla $ign at the Streamer Awards. So we got the streamer. Yeah, I mean, he probably took on a few awards himself, right? I would hold. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. You feel me? But yeah, he was performing right here, right? At the Streamer Awards with Ty Dolla $ign. Let's see how that went.
Guest is one of the most influential artists in hip-hop and R&B. He is known for genre-defining tracks and unforgettable live performances. So please give it up for Ty Dolla $ign.
We're not here for Ty though, we're here for DDG though.
Let's go, Ty.
So the song is Ty Dolla's song.
This up. This ain't no boring awards. Ty Dolla $ign, let's go. Hey, everybody stand up, let's go.
Who's it? Is this me?
Stand up, stand up, let's go, Ty.
Bitch, you bad than a motherfucker. Got one kid, I'm a motherfucker. Throw some bands in the dick. Hey, throw your hands in the dick. Hey, stuck in the club with a switch. When your nigga put you on a ditch. Hey, we can go live in this hoe, I put you on.
Look, I'm not a Ty Dolla fan, and you know what I'm saying. Like I'm not a like I thought I was. You know, I'm here for DDG. You know what I'm saying. So I guess I gotta sit through this because I don't know when you know Moo coming through. I thought that was him in the beginning.
Hold up. Twitch you.
Yeah, nah.
Stream award. Shit. Hey.
Let's go. Yeah, I remember they did this one. I think. No. This one was probably part of Blame It On Chat, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Hey. Let's go.
I want 2 bars to come your bean. Hey, I started Celine. That might help out with that bean.
Hey,
pour for a lean, but they don't go. She kept the team.
Let's go.
Bitch, I'm trying to speed.
Nah, it wasn't part of. Man, what's Speed part of, man? Was Speed part of thingy? You know, chat.
Hey, I got him coming in, ain't got time to love again. I'm outside, she wanna cuff me, told her wait till the summer end. I ain't trying to be your boyfriend, just let me fuck again. Get it hit and they record me and say it's luck again. On the yacht we insane, box we with the hoes. She tweaked out, she going inside of the bathroom to play with her nose. I'm geeked out, I run up the motherfucking ends, put on her bros. She freaked out, she pop her a motherfucking bean and take off her clothes.
I guess niggas still need to backtrack, bro. I'm sorry. Like, it's niggas be rusty on stage. Nah, but you know, shout out my boy DDG. But it's like, yo, like, you know, it's moment like this because you know I hear the whole debate of like, yo, you know, these niggas is lazy. These niggas is on stage. They gotta do things like with a live band, like give that live feeling or whatever. Bro, have you seen these niggas? You know, productivity output, bro. These niggas be putting so much like work out, and I feel like that's where I go devil's advocate with Moo right here, especially with moments like this where it's like, yo, yeah, dog, you may black out on stage, you may like forget like lyrics. This guy just put out a whole album like just last week, and you know, an event may just come out and you know, now he gotta perform the shit that he did because it has Ty Dolla $ign in it or Wiz Khalifa in it, and you know what I'm saying? But you know, he ain't probably had time to really immerse himself in what he did and the songs and the wads because you know what I'm saying? So that he could just like be one with the song, so that he could perform the thing just on, you know, just with a band, and you know, not have that guiding element of the backtrack. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy just keeps working. So probably in the artist that he features, right? Because he does work with exclusively people who are just exclusively artists. So those people, they do that. Like after they record, whatever song that they record, they sit with it, they get immersed in it, they just one with it, they practice and whatever. This nigga, after recording that song, he gotta go stream. After that song, he gotta go do this. After that song, he gotta go record more songs because this streamer wants to collaborate with him on this. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, okay, that's where like it might bite you in the ass later, trying to be the nigga that does everything. You understand what I'm saying? But yo, with this guy's output, just energy to just generate content, and I would literally call him out and be like, yo, he needs to do less of that. If whatever he was generating was ass, it's not. Like, it's fire shit. It's like, yo, this nigga wants to generate like music every day while cranking up a stream, you know what I'm saying? While, I don't know, like he wanted to juggle all that with the vlogging, and it was, you know what I'm saying? Look at all of that. You feel what I'm saying? But I ain't gonna lie, the music is still fire. So yo, go ahead, bro. Give people things every day. But then now it's like when it comes to moments like this, where it's like, oh damn, because this, let me just confirm, speed, right? This nigga might get it wrong. Copilot.
Hey there, I'm right here.
The song Speed by DDG and Ty Dolla $ign. What album is it from?
So the song Speed by DDG and Ty Dolla $ign is actually from the album called Blame the Chat.
I knew it. Okay, cool. So I got that right. So look at when Blame the Chat dropped, right? Let me check that out. Okay, let's do it like this. Alright, hold on. When did it drop? 2025, bro. This nigga dropped this shit this year, bro. And he's created multiple. May 2025, bro. It's December right now, right? It's like 7 months later. You gotta perform now. Imagine what happened, you know, throughout the span of the whole 7 months. This nigga's been creating, this nigga's been cooking up, this nigga's been doing production, you know, big production style type streams. This nigga's been, you know, recording more songs, more projects, more this and that. I don't even know when the last time he listened to the song Speed. Yo, it is what it is. It is what it is. He probably done got his fat check from, you know, for this, and got them paid for this, and whatever, you know what I'm saying? He got his content for this. It's on his channel, you know, people can reference back at it, see him kicking his thing. But you know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, that performance though. You know what I'm saying? That this is just a result of like a man, you know, who's just constantly at work, right? Who's constantly at work, who doesn't have the time to review his previous things. So, you know, you might have like moments of blacking out your lines on stage. People like these, my whole point was that people like this, they need that backtrack, bro. Backtrack culture cannot die, bro. Hold on, bro.
The family play with her nose. I'm geeked out. I run up the motherfucking ends, put on a bro.
Okay, go. Speed, let's go. Speed. Nah, I get it, man.
I'm trying to pop out foreign and color and whip. I'm going dumb in this bitch. I'm trying to pop out foreign and knowing this shit. She see me running this shit. She know I show. I run up a motherfucking bag. These little niggas going on sad. The Lambo go sport more, that motherfucking engine go too fast. The Maybach digital dash. I'm swerving that bitch might crash.
Okay, now I don't know about y'all, but like my favorite one from Blame It On The Chat, bro. He do that shit they imitate. It's high, imitate. It's high, yellow, gold, Cuban. I just imitate. Oh god, I feel like, you know what I'm saying. Kind of feel ashamed for not knowing all the you know, the lyrics, but that one gold, bro. That one gold, bro. Lemonade with Wiz. Come on, bro. That one's the hardest.
Fucking noise for DDG!
Yes, sir.
Lemonade is
Hold
hard.
on.
Lemonade
Make some
is the
noise
hardest.
from all the nominees and all the streamers in the building.
You know what? I realized, yo, yeah, these performances might get my shit yellow marked, but man, we're not monetized anyway. Yet. You feel me? So yeah,
Are y'all ready to go home or what?
might have to be a little bit more stricter as we move, right? right? In terms of what I react to in terms of this music. It's a little overwhelming, and I feel like I got you know, I got my points across. You know what I'm saying? I got my 40 points across. I'm satisfied. That's, you know, because now the segment is gonna go on for way too long. Because now we gotta kick it with the psyche a little bit. Yeah, well, that's the channel, that is the psyche right here. I'm talking about the channel. Yeah, so 7 signs you've already passed the most painful test of your soul. Carl Jung. You know what I'm saying? Wholesome wisdom from this man right here, philosopher right here. You know what I'm saying? I mean, at this point, I don't even give a fuck if the man existed or not. The information that comes from this kind of IP, intellectual property, it's worth breaking down. You know what I'm saying? And this right here is the hidden psychology, you know what I'm saying, of going through the most harsh or learning the toughest situations. Let's call it that. You know what I'm saying? The psychology that's developed when you've went through tough situations. Let's get it.
Imagine that the deepest pain you've ever faced was not a punishment, but a preparation. Imagine that every heartbreak, loss, and moment of despair was not a sign of failure, but the sacred process of your soul awakening. What if the very darkness you once feared was the crucible that forged your spiritual strength? Today we will explore something profound.
Okay, just before we continue though, I don't know, you guys will go ahead and share your experiences in the comment section, but you know what I'm saying? You know, the one experience I'd say was an experience that was the toughest, but I learned the most valuable lessons, right? I'd say it's been a collective of them, but they've had like the same theme, and it's the theme of loss, bro. I hate losing things, right? I still do to this day. Like, I hate losing things because I hate like the whole idea of having to start over, right? To start something from scratch and everything, especially when you've put like a whole bunch of work, a whole just amount of just effort and work and energy behind something, blood, sweat, and tears and something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I hate loss, bro. I hate loss. I hate losing something. And you know, a whole lot of themes where it's like, well, I pointed out the fact that I hate it to this day. Well, I hate it today because I hated it even worse when I was younger, bro. You know what I'm saying? Because I know I feel like most people go through this when you're young. You feel like you're gonna retain some of the things that you have for a long time, forever. You know what I'm saying? There might have been a time when you thought the Tooth Fairy was gonna be existent forever. You know what I'm saying? Or Santa Claus. Well, thankfully, no person younger than 8 watches this. You know, that's for YouTube kids. Cause I was about thinking like, yo, hope I'm not bursting against anybody's bubble right here. You know what I'm saying? But I know it ain't no 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds that watch my channel. So, but you know, those are the ages when you know you still think maybe things will stick around forever. You know what I'm saying? Your friends, you feel me? Life, your parents, your mom, your dad, happy moments, you feel me? Your own life. You know what I'm saying? Okay, I didn't mean to take it that deep and that dark. But you know, then I was literally I was like, yo, everything that I held, I attached to it super hard. And I remember the first group of friends that I even had to separate from was around the age of 8, bro. I'm saying, transitioning to another part of like the country, you know what I mean, and having to start over there. I remember even at age 9, dog, I didn't start no new friends. I think it was only up until age, let me see something, maybe late primary school, bro. Grade 5, maybe grade 6, 7. You know what I'm saying? All the way from like grade 2, dog. Like, I was like, man, F all that, dog. Like, it just disarmed me so much. So, you know, moments for me that, like, you know, provided the toughest lessons were moments when I had to lose some things. You know what I'm saying? Especially that you know, that first heartbreak, bro. Ugh. Oh, that one, I did not, you know what I'm saying? That first heartbreak one, bro. Oh my, let me not even get into that. This is not the video for that. We break it down the psychology, not the, you know, not the heart. You know what I'm saying?
7 signs that you have already passed the most painful test of your soul. And the 7th one is the most powerful of all.
Let's get into
it. Will completely change the way you understand your journey, your wounds, and your inner light. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to this channel, leave a like, and share your thoughts in the comments.
No. I'll definitely give you that subscribe, but like we are literally on this account right now, so that, you know, so that we get the premium treatment. You know what I'm saying? Channel where I'm actually subscribed or have to subscribe to your shit is, you know, not premiumed up. So we shall do that, you know, when the time is right.
Reflections are part of this collective exploration. What we are about to discuss may not only help you see your life differently, it may help you finally understand the deeper meaning of your own transformation.
Sure.
Carl Jung believed that the human soul evolves through a process of suffering, integration, and rebirth. He called it individuation, the sacred path of becoming who you truly are.
Okay, look, I do see, you know, a very big significance in adopting that kind of mindset, right? Where it's like it's not the end all and be all of everything, where it's like you have to suffer for you to grow in life. You have to suffer, but a dose of it is needed, right? A percentage of it, because again, it's like when you experience nothing but suffering, then obviously then now you get people that come to a point of like questioning everything on some negative vibe, right? Why am I even here? And literally go ahead and succeed in self-deletion, right? And then you get individuals like that, but you do need a little bit of that suffering so that you can, you know, by the time you experience that relief, that contrast, bro, it just gives you the experience of the goodness of life, right? From the suffering to the goodness. But you're only experiencing that goodness because we're only, you know, having this temporary relief from the suffering. You understand what I'm saying? Because you know, you got to look at it from the other side of the coin too. Life cannot be void of the suffering, because then again it makes what we're experiencing very redundant and very like purposeless and very like directionless. You know what I'm saying? Because what direction does suffering give you? It gives you the direction of you moving towards a space where you don't suffer. You know what I'm saying? Where you experience the relief. That's the direction we moving towards, right? The direction towards relief and advancement and success and all this thing, right? But then that's the direction that suffering has to give. So suffering is necessary. You understand what I'm saying? That's the point I'm trying to reiterate, that the necessity of it.
But few
the necessity of a percentage of it, not, you know what I'm saying, not the whole entire thing being the whole thing now.
Realize that this process often hides behind life's most painful experiences.
Are you sure?
The truth is, the greatest spiritual test of your life rarely announces itself. It comes disguised as loss, chaos, or emptiness.
Yeah, that's right.
And only after you've survived it do you begin to realize what it was preparing you for.
Damn.
Think back for a moment.
Why?
Was there a time when everything in your life seemed to collapse? When people left opportunities...
Oh, yes, and yes. Yeah, that's facts.
...vanished, and you no longer recognize the person you used to be. Many who have passed this silent initiation remember a season like that, a time when life stripped away every illusion, leaving them face to face with their raw essence. This is the essence of what Jung called the night sea journey, the descent into the unconscious, into the shadow, where everything you have denied about yourself waits to be integrated.
Yo, look. I don't know, like, why this is a reality that just, like, exists, or why this is a circumstance that people, more often than not, I realize, go through, right? A whole lot of people go through this kind of circumstance where it's like, yo, that first heartbreak, dog. God, I'm talking about, like, you know, from a romantic, just, like, you know, severance, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, splitting of, like, somebody you thought may have been your soulmate, etc., right? Damn, that shit is like that. Man, I don't know if it's only me. That shit like had a nigga questioning like even my existence. Nigga, the purpose. You know what I'm saying? My purpose. Nigga, why do I eat the food that I eat? I can't believe this. Like, what? Why do I shower the way that I shower? Like, come on, bruh. How was I even born in the country I was? Bro, you just fucking broke up with the... Come on, bro, it's just a break. It's like, yo, some of these things will just shift your whole paradigms, right? And I'm not invalidating or talking down on the fact that, yo, you know, a heartbreak is something small, blah blah, but I feel like, you know, it's a matter of you getting to that state of mind, state of psychology, where it's like state of psychological just being, right, where it's like, yo, things are crumbling, or because sometimes it's just maybe a momentum that's being built, right, from small instances of maybe resistance, small instances of maybe you not winning, you not getting things right, and then maybe that next small hurdle, maybe a small little fork in the road, small little hurdle, you know, maybe a little bit of conflict at work, and now it's like your whole world is crumbling, bro. You know what I'm saying? I feel like now when you start questioning other things that are unrelated to what you're going through right now, you know, on some negative vibe, once you start questioning a whole bunch of other things, you know, to a point where like your life really changes, you know what I'm saying? At that point, it's like it's been a build-up of a whole bunch of things, right? That's why even like with the relationship thing, you know what I'm saying, with the heartbreak, in terms of relationship and romance, with me, like that was the straw that broke that camel's back, right? That brought other things that have been just like, yeah, pesticides to my, you know, mental, bro. I don't know, are pesticides a negative thing? You know, say demons, yeah, demons that just live inside the mental just to drain your energy. You feel what I'm saying? So, yeah, it gets tough sometimes. You're not alone. You're not alone.
Passing the test of the soul means you face this darkness and emerge with new eyes.
You gotta face it.
It means that the storm didn't destroy you, it revealed you. The first sign that you have passed the most painful test of your soul is that you no longer fear solitude. At some point, your loneliness stopped feeling like punishment and began to feel like peace. You discovered that being alone is not the same as being abandoned.
Like, to me, actually, another you know, point about that is it gave me more, like, the solitude that I came to actually even fall in love with. You know what I'm saying? It gave me opportunity to kick my creativity, bro. You know what I'm saying? Have like more space to brainstorm with the ideas that I have, ruminate with them even more without, you know, being disturbed by the rest of life. Right? So like, and for me that was a very important thing. I'm a creator, bro. Like, you know, ideas, like fresh ideas, innovative ideas are very valuable to me. I gotta use them, and only when I'm alone is when I just get to go crazy in terms of the creativity and how we can literally apply these ideas and things. Like, for me, that's fun as fuck. I'm not gonna lie.
Instead, it became the sacred space where you finally heard your own voice again.
Yep.
Many ancient traditions speak of this. In the desert, prophets found clarity. In silence, mystics found God. And in isolation, countless souls have rediscovered their truth. If you can now sit with yourself without running away from your thoughts, if you can rest in your own presence without needing constant distraction, your soul has matured beyond dependency. You no longer seek validation to know your worth, because you have already looked into the abyss and realized that you are enough. This kind of peace cannot be taught. It is earned through endurance, through the silent tears and the nights when you thought you would never make it. The second sign is that you have stopped blaming others for your pain. There was a time when you looked outward, searching for someone to hold responsible for what happened to you. But something changed. Instead of seeing villains, you began to see teachers. You realized that those who hurt you were...
Instead of seeing villains, you began to see teachers. And I feel like at that point, that's when your demons become your angels, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know that, you know, the POV or the perception of what influences you like negatively, aka your demons, can be something that, if, you know, placed properly or being projected in proper like scenarios, being projected, you know, onto, you know, the relevant real life circumstances, your demons can actually be your angels. Like, they can have positive effect. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I don't know. I don't know. Who's that guy? Who's that guy that runs, you know, that podcast, $1 Million Worth of Game, with Gilly the Kid? That dude, right? I saw like an interview, you know, talking about he was into gangsterism and all this, that, and the third. You know what I'm saying? I think it was in the Thai Boogie podcast. And the Thai Boogie was actually reacting to this, right? And you know that brother was breaking down how, you know, him being in the gangs, you know, in the, well, gangsterism and just like degenerate activities, he something powerful that was said to him stuck with him, right? And it was that you have to, well, no. He was sat down with one of his friends, and they had told him, yo, let's not do this wrong thing, because you cannot seem to do this wrong thing the right way. You know what I'm saying? All you do is do the wrong thing the wrong way. And it's like, wait, there's a reality where you can do the wrong thing the right way? You understand what I'm saying? And it's like, yo, that's kind of twisted. But then if you dive into things like that, into concepts and mentalities like that, you understand, you know what I'm saying, why it's like, yo, you know, some of these things, when are done in the right contexts, you know what I mean? So the toughest things, or what you may deem as the most negative things, when it's just put under the right lens, you could see that its existence can be positive. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think I'm getting too deep for niggas. Sorry, bro. Let me just let the video.
Often unconscious instruments of your awakening.
Yep.
Jung once wrote that everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves.
Why?
When you truly grasp that, you begin to transform suffering into wisdom. It's not about condoning cruelty or forgetting betrayal. It's about understanding that your soul used those experiences to show you where your wounds were hiding.
That's right.
When you reach this level of awareness, life stops being a battlefield and becomes a classroom. You begin to live from a place of quiet compassion, even for those who caused you pain, because you now understand that they too were fighting battles you could not see. The third sign is subtle, yet profound. You feel gratitude for the lessons hidden in your suffering. Gratitude used to feel impossible, even offensive when you were still bleeding from life's wounds. But now when you look back, you can see how each trial shaped you, softened you, and deepened your understanding of what really matters. This is not toxic positivity. It's the mature recognition that meaning can coexist with pain. Ask yourself, can I now look at my past not as a curse, but as the sacred ground where my soul grew? Can I feel a quiet thankfulness for the journey, even with all its heartbreaks? If so, you have crossed the threshold. You've turned pain into purpose and scars into wisdom. Every person who transcends the test of the soul reaches this moment. When they finally stop asking, why did this happen to me? And start asking, what is life trying to show me through this? That shift of perspective marks the true beginning of enlightenment.
From why me to, you know, what am I trying to learn here? What is life trying to show me here?
It is the moment your consciousness expands beyond the victim.
And I feel like at that point you're asking, you know, you'd be asking yourself the right questions. That's the right questions. What am I supposed to see in this circumstance? You know what I'm saying? Not like, yo, why me, God, and like, you know, the whole victim mentality type thing.
Of the ego, and begins to see the divine intelligence working behind the chaos.
And you know, and you know why I feel like that kind of advice actually could be good, even for like the young men out there. You know what I'm saying? My young bulls out there. You feel me? Especially with the, you know, Gen Zs. You know, you get even the Gen Alphas and things like that. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, yo, this is how you get yourself out of maybe falling for, you know, women out here that can use you for something that's like, you know, not related to the authenticity that you are, dog. You know what I'm saying? They could be using you for not the real you, is what I'm trying to say. And then that could make you easily fall into the victim mindset. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're gonna end up be asking, you know, like, why me? Like, nah, why do I keep, you know, attracting these kind of 304s and, you know, these kind of lost minds, lost causes out here of females? You know what I'm saying? Whereas it's like, yo, if you could step back, bro, and instead of asking yourself, yo, why me? It's like, yo, what am I trying to see? What am I supposed to see out of these kind of women that I do attract? Because yes, another thing, you do contribute to that, right? Whether consciously or subconsciously, it's like, it's the people that you know, you spark interest in. You know, you pique interest in. You feel what I'm saying? So, and that with that being said, though, it's like, now if you can see what you're supposed to see, that no, it's in maybe what you're doing, right? Or it's in maybe the subconscious patterns that you have going on that attract maybe people that you may not be attracted to sometimes. You know, that's why you may be, you know, you may end up asking yourself, like, why do I keep attracting the asshole? Why do I keep attracting, like, the idiot, bro, the slow one? Like, what? All beauty's no brain, all booty but no sane mind. You know, it's like, nah, bro. You can't even. You know what I'm saying? You just gotta start asking the right questions. My young bulls out there, bro. Like facts.
Stay with me until the end, because the final sign we'll explore in the 7th is the most transformative of all.
Let's do it.
It reveals the hidden meaning behind your entire journey.
Do it now.
And shows you the ultimate proof that your soul has already passed through its darkest night.
Nice.
The 4th sign that you have already passed the most painful test of your soul
is
that you have developed an unshakable sense of inner calm, even when life becomes chaotic.
Stoicism. Would that count as stoicism? Developing an incredible sense of inner calm, right? Co-pilot. I don't think my boy can hear me. Co-pilot. Yo, what's going on with you, nigga? Do I gotta like refresh you, nigga? Co-pilot. Damn, some having my boy co-pilot, man, who broke my nigga, though. Yo.
Hi there, Seasway.
Yo, would you say that developing an incredible sense of calm, would you associate that with stoicism?
Stoicism? Oh, for sure. Let's dive in.
No, I'm saying, like, would you say developing an incredible sense of inner calm, would you equate that to stoicism?
Yeah, that's an interesting thought. So cultivating a real deep calm within yourself definitely vibes with what the Stoics were all about. They were big on mastering your emotions and finding a steady inner peace regardless of what's going on in the outside world. So yeah, I'd say they totally give you a Stoic thumbs up for that approach. Now tell me, what sparked your interest in that connection?
It's just a reaction video I'm doing right quick, my brother, you feel me? Why don't you want to maximize, nigga? Alright, cool, yeah.
There was a time when every unexpected challenge would send you spiraling into fear, anger, or despair.
Nice.
But now, even when everything around you falls apart, something inside remains still, as if your soul remembers that you have already survived storms greater than this. Carl Jung said that, in all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder, a secret order. Those words hold profound truth. You have learned that life does not need to be perfect to be meaningful.
And I feel like, you know what I'm saying, how that can just like, how that point could be substantiate. Yeah, something like that, right? How can it be like elaborated upon, nigga? You know what I'm saying? Expounded upon. You know what I'm saying? Wait, is the fact that, right, this kind of going through these kind of circumstances, right, going through these kind of tough moments in life, I feel like it can help you spot what matters and what doesn't, right? Like, it can help you not sweat the small shit, right? The things that fall apart, that may be falling apart next to you, you know what I'm saying, behind you, oh, to the side, oh, to that side, what? Nah, like, what? Water off a duck's back, thank you, slew. Slew. Alright, my bad. Dog, I'm gonna work on the soundboard. My fault. I'm gonna work on the soundboard instead of, you know. I know it might be leaving you a little bit awkward, bro. Me doing the sounds of my lips and shit. Pause. Nah. Wait, what was I saying? Oh yeah, like, you know, things falling apart, like, you know, around you, bro. Like, you could like literally be able to focus on like what you need to focus on, and making sure that that's attended to. You know what I'm saying? That is like the proper effort and energies put to the right shit. You know what I'm saying? Instead of, you know, worrying about dead weight, worrying about saving, you know, trying to catch falling dead weight. You feel what I'm saying? It's dead, let it fall. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, yo, but I feel like that kind of muscle is developed, you know, through going through enough of those experiences. You feel what I'm saying? So yeah, but when you're young, you know, in your younger years, you still want to try like just make sure you save everything, please everybody, this, that, and the third, and then it's like, yo, trying to make sure that everything is in line, and you know, you gotta Captain Save a Hoe every girl that you meet. It's like, it's, you know, it can get crazy, but
you no longer resist uncertainty, because you have discovered that peace is not found in control, but in surrender.
Type shit.
When you reach this point, life stops feeling like a constant struggle against fate.
I see.
You begin to trust the unfolding of things, not with blind faith, but with deep knowing born from experience.
Yeah.
You might still feel pain, but it no longer defines you. The fear that once dominated your mind has lost its power, because you now recognize it as a passing visitor,
Straight
not
up.
a permanent state.
Yep.
You've realized that emotional turbulence is not a sign of weakness. It's a reminder that you are human, still learning, still expanding. And so you face challenges with grace because you no longer need the illusion of certainty to feel safe. Your compassion has deepened, not diminished.
Compassion has deepened, not diminished. Talk about it.
Often when people endure deep suffering, they harden. They close their hearts to avoid being hurt again. But those who have truly passed the test of the soul do the opposite. You've allowed your pain to soften you, not break you.
I see.
You feel the struggles of others more vividly now, because you recognize parts of yourself in their eyes.
Yep.
This compassion is not sentimental.
What is it?
It's born from understanding.
Really?
You no longer judge as quickly, because you know how it feels to lose direction, to be misunderstood,
Yes.
to fight invisible battles in
Yes.
silence. The empathy.
So nah. That one I really do gotta, you know what I'm saying? We gotta break it down respectfully. We gotta give it its own just like moment of yaps. You feel me? It's like, yo, yeah, you do end up developing an empathy for people who go through the similar, you know, through situations that are similar, you know, to the tough situations that you went through. You know what I'm saying? And that thing is so real, bro. And you know what I'm saying? Again, I'm pointing out the fact that I'm that much of a sensitive soul that I can see you go through some shit right with somebody else and notice that that somebody else is putting you in a position that I once was, that made things tough for me, right? And you know, wherever I can help the situation, I'm the type to even be able to help you without you even knowing, if it's possible, right? Like, because that kind of thing, it can move me so much. You know what I'm saying? Knowing that, okay, you're going through something I literally faced head on, bro. I know exactly how that shit felt. I know, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like I've uncovered the kind of mindset that could help you get through that. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm reaching out. You know what I mean? I'm reaching out. It even gets so deep to a point where, you know, I could see you as my enemy going through that kind of thing, where I try and help you without you, you know, not like, I try to help you indirectly, bro. That's how sensitive I am to that kind of thing. So this one is a very deep point, bro. That's very true, bro. W point, nigga.
The you now carry is not weakness. It is sacred strength. It is the mark of someone who has seen the depths and chosen love anyway. When you reach this stage, you begin to attract others who are also walking their own path of healing.
I see.
Conversations become deeper, relationships more authentic. You feel drawn to people who value truth, vulnerability, and spiritual growth. This shift in vibration is not accidental. It is your soul's way of aligning with what now resonates with your frequency of consciousness.
For real?
Yet this new awareness also brings solitude of a different kind. You might notice that some relationships fade away naturally. It's not because of resentment, but because your energy no longer matches. This, too, is a sign of growth. You've learned to release with peace, to let go without bitterness. You understand now that every soul you meet plays its role. Some come to teach, some to test, and a few to stay. But none were meant to last beyond their divine purpose in your story. The sixth sign that you have passed the test of your soul is the ability to live with uncertainty and still move forward with faith.
Yes. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you are now not afraid of the unknown, living with the uncertainty, right? Wouldn't you say that's like just being comfortable with living with the unknown, because you've gone to the other side of that unknown, right? And now you can see exactly that on the other side of an unknown veil is never nothing to destroy you anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's just maybe the fear of the void, man. The fear of just, you know, you don't know what you're gonna bump in the dark. You know what I'm saying? You know, you don't know what you might bump into. You might fuck around and stumble on a pile of, you know what I'm saying, a pile of money, nigga. You know what I'm saying? But it's in the dark. You tripped off of that bag of money. You tripped off of that bag, you know, of 800K cash. You know what I'm saying? And bumped your head, and now you're now bleeding. It hurts, yes. But then, you know, you start realizing, you start feeling things, you start using your other senses, you start using your intuition. Nigga, I just tripped and fall in the bank safe. What? Now watch that pain become into just like pain of just pleasure, nigga. You know what I'm saying? It's like I stumbled on a bag of cash. You know what I'm saying? It was just the fear of what you couldn't see in the dark. You feel me? Alright, let me just go ahead and you know, I do this little small reaction scene right here, so I can just like, you know, hit my smokes real quick. You know what I'm saying? Without being super apparent and super just in your face while I do it. Alright, my bad.
Feels like a series of random events. Even when you don't have all the answers, you feel guided by an invisible current, something larger than logic. You might call it destiny, intuition, or divine timing, but deep down, you know it's real. In Jungian terms, this is the moment when the conscious and the unconscious begin to work together. You trust your intuition because it has proven itself in the fire of experience. That quiet inner voice that once seemed faint now speaks with clarity, and you listen. You make choices not from fear, but from alignment with your authentic self. When you trust this inner guidance, your life begins to unfold in synchronistic ways. You notice patterns, coincidences, and subtle signs from the universe that seem to confirm you're on the right path. Jung called this phenomenon synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that reveal the hidden order of reality. Those who have passed the soul's hardest test begin to experience this more often, because their inner and outer worlds are now in harmony. This is the stage where your old self begins to dissolve. You no longer chase things that once seemed essential: validation, approval, competition, the endless pursuit of status. Instead, you seek peace, purpose, and authenticity. You understand that your worth is not something to be proven, but something to be remembered. You begin to ask different questions. Not how can I get more, but how can I live more truthfully? Not who do I need to become, but who was I before I learned to doubt myself? These are the questions of an awakened soul, one that no longer seeks external confirmation, but listens to the wisdom that rises from within. And yet, even here, the journey is not over. There remains one final revelation, the seventh and most powerful sign. It is the ultimate proof that you have already passed the most painful test of your soul. It is the key that unlocks not only understanding, but liberation. Before we uncover that final truth, reflect for a moment. Have you felt these changes in yourself? Have you noticed that you react differently to pain, to people, to life itself? Share your reflections in the comments, because your story might be the mirror someone else needs to see their own transformation. Stay with me until the end, because what comes next will illuminate the real purpose behind all your suffering.
Oh, sheesh. That was, yo, what a yap session, man. Just off of that alone, I'm tired as fuck. Why millennials and Gen Zs? Wait, what? Why millennials and Gen Zs are going no contact with their parents? What are we talking about? Amir Odom. Amir Odom. Amir Odom. Amir Odom or Amir Odom. I'm saying, if I'm butchering it, my bad, my brother. I'm sorry, bro. But, yeah, let's see it.
It has been 6 years since I've spoken to my mother. We're no contact with our parents because we have to, not because we want to.
Growing phenomenon.
Talk about it.
Known.
What the fuck? Is this AI Oprah? Whoa, she looks so different. Why is that neck sucked? Why is that neck area so sucked in, bruh? How old is Oprah, bruh? Damn, the hairline is all the way out the way, you know what I'm saying? Like the, you know what I'm saying? Okay, you know, she clear senior citizen. How old is Oprah, dog? Man, my fault, y'all. I gotta just check it. You know what I'm saying? For the one time. Co-pilot. How old is Oprah Winfrey, man? In 2025.
Well, it looks like it's indeed the year 2025.
No. How old is Oprah Winfrey?
Oprah Winfrey is currently 71 years old.
Okay. Pay my respects, man. I didn't mean, you know what I'm saying, if I came off disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? With all due respect. You feel me? But, yo, I ain't seen Oprah in a minute. Damn!
Going no contact.
People are fed up and boundaries have been put in place, even for me. If you're unfamiliar with what going no contact means, it basically means when you've cut your parents off. And personally, I've always thought I was alone on this issue, but
I thought I was alone on this issue, my man Amir Odom, bro. I thought I was the only, you know what I'm saying? And you're right, it is millennials and Gen Zs, right? My boy, just like dive in, bro. Like, yo, indulge me, man. Damn.
Sharing their own personal experiences.
Cause you know what I'm saying? Like, I need like to hear it from other POVs. I ain't gonna lie. Like, what's up with that?
Online is that there's a large group of people that are going through this very issue. And recently, Oprah actually highlighted this on her show / podcast, whatever she got going on. She's highlighted this.
It's a podcast now? Damn, okay.
And actually hosted a bunch of different people to
She's even slouched over like this. Like, what's up?
Share their stories and kind of
No. Okay, yeah, in old age. It happens. Shout out Oprah Winfrey.
Talk back and forth with the crowd, and there were people who cut off their parents, there were parents who have cut off their children, parents who have been cut off by their kids. There was so much discussion being had, and honestly, it's perfect timing because the holidays are around, and for a lot of people, even for me, like, it can be
talk about it, holiday season,
and it's just nice to resonate and connect with other people out there sharing their stories, because this issue, it can be hard on a lot of people, hell, especially, and we'll get into it later on this video, but even what I'm personally going through right now with my own mom, and it's a lot. This is gonna be an interesting video. We'll see if I make it through. We will see. But I will say, if you are someone that has a very loving and awesome and great relationship with your parents, good.
More power to you.
I'm glad you have that, but that is not the case for everybody out there. And I'm going to let you know now, some of the stories that we'll be going through in this video will shock you, and it'll even make you wonder, like, damn, I didn't even know a parent can act like this or do this. Because truly, for most people, going no contact with your parents, that's the last resort. While yes, we've discussed this, there are some people cutting off their family because of politics. That's rare. What we're talking about in this video is years, decades worth of trauma and abuse and neglect, and it's sad. And in this video, we're gonna be going through exactly that. We're gonna go through several videos of people sharing their own stories about going no contact with their parents, and even my own, and how I basically don't have a relationship with either. So that being said, thank you for your time. If you like this kind of content, be sure to subscribe, and let's dive right into this video.
And you know what's crazy too? Like, one thing that I will say is that, and I get the whole POV of people that be like, yo, you are blessed to have both your parents still alive in your life, etc., right? And I get that, right? But then in some instances, that's not a blank. Well, people throw it out there as a blanket statement. I don't think it necessarily should be applied as a blanket statement. And it's like an example of saying, what's a quick analogy I can put together, bro? It's like saying, yo, as long as you're male, right, and you're a born male, the only way for you to get into an education system and get you a decent education is if you join a sports, whatever sports, but that's the only chance. And it's like, what do you mean, brother? Not every male boy is born with, you know, an athletic build. You know, these people who are born, you know, disabled, dyslexia. I don't. It's not a laughing matter. Focus. I meant disabled. Paraplegic. You feel me? So it's like, not everybody is built for this. So not everything could apply to this blanket statement. You see what I'm saying? Where it's like, yo, be happy, bro. You're blessed, bro. You still got both of your parents alive. How do you ghost both of them or one of them, whatever the case, for like such a long time? It's like, yo, there are reasons for these kind of things, brother. And for me personally, you know, even with the people that I know personally, bro, these are the kind of questions that I don't even entertain in terms of poking at them. You know what I'm saying? Because bro, you'll find somebody that's like, that comes off petty within the decisions that they make. You know what I'm saying? And you see, but you know, you think about it really deeply. You see, it's a sensitive topic. You're like, bro, there must be like a plethora of reasons why things got here. Yes, this one isolated incident right here, it seems mad petty, but it's like, yo, I wouldn't even want to question it. Like, you know what I'm saying? If it looks, you know, too petty to be sweet, it's probably like monstrous. I'm not gonna lie. If it looks too petty to be sweet, probably is bitter as fuck. It's monstrous, bro. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if that's the saying, but boom, that's a bar. Write that down.
You now are estranged from...
Shout out my boy Nero.
From your biological father.
Yes.
Why? Can we ask?
I say it's a million cuts that bled me dry. And I could give you one reason, but I think that it was...
Let's dive right into this video.
You now are estranged from your biological father.
Yes.
Why? Can we ask?
I say it's a million cuts that bled me dry. And I could give you one reason, but I think that it wouldn't reflect the entirety of the situation. And I think that someone would judge that one situation and say that wasn't enough of a reason. And in reality, it wasn't just that. It was a million things before that.
That is so common. There's a lot of people even that I meet in real life, and we have these conversations, and it's hard to conceptualize all the things that have gone on in my own life with my mother. And when you take into account the whole grand scheme of things, it makes sense. If I tell you this one thing here, it's not going to add up.
Exactly.
You know, it's beautiful the way she put it. A million cuts that bled me dry.
Yeah, so it's a domino effect of little things that lead up to a certain, you know, climactic moment where even that climactic moment for it to happen, all it took was like something small to even trigger that moment to happen.
Totally.
Thanks.
You can get a bunch of paper cuts, and if they bleed enough, you got enough of them, you will die. But it's
You will
die
die
by paper
eventually,
cut,
yeah.
You know, so it can vary. But that's the other thing too. You don't really know people's story, and there's many reasons people go no contact. But the largest part that we're gonna go through in this video, before a large group of people, it's a very serious matter. There's years and years worth of trauma, of conversations and talks, and it just compiles and compiles and compiles. Where it's just like, you know what, I've had enough.
Yeah.
I have to remove myself from this situation. For people out there, sometimes it isn't just this one moment. It's not this one fight, this one thing. No, it's the whole picture, years worth of stuff going on, all these little cuts, little comments, little jabs here and there where it's like, you know what, F it. You're draining me of my energy, my time, my emotions, and it hurts. Crazy. And it's gotten to the point where a lot of people are saying, you know what, F it, enough is enough. And I will say, Oprah has been getting a lot of flack for, this is Oprah's show, Oprah's been getting a lot of flack for hosting this and calling it a trend. I'll give her a little grace. And
wait, is Oprah's show about this? Is the premise of the thing like breaking down, you know, estranged relationships with, you know, people and their parents?
Say that for me, when maybe it's because I work, you know, I do YouTube and I do social media full time.
Yep.
I hear trend, and for the most part, in this context of like what we're talking about, when I hear that it's a trend, I think it's more of a trend for people to share their stories.
Okay.
That's been on the rise. There has been a trend of people sharing their stories, highlighting what they're going through and connecting with other people. What's not been the trend is people actively doing it. People have been cutting off their parents, and this isn't just like a fad. I think if she said it's a fad, that's a little different. But to say it's a trend, it is trending upward of people sharing their stories. I'll say that, but I definitely don't think it's just a little fad.
Bro, how can it even be a trend, bro? You know what I'm saying? At the same time, we're gonna have to like decipher what we really are talking about, bro. Especially if we claim to be adults that are like that, you know, are understanding our world. It's like, how do you make this a trend? How do you like, oh shit, is this what's being done these days? Oh, let me go ahead and ghost my own family, like knowing damn well that you and your parents like you know, connection is cool, it's decent, right? It's like that would make no sense. This, like, what I see being broken down here is, you know, trauma responses, bro. It's people who literally went through real trauma, dog. You feel what I'm saying? So, you know, labeling it as like a trend, oh, I see there's this trend that, you know, where people are just going no contact with, like, that sounds ridiculous, bro. Right? It's like, then what's the benefit? Like, what do you get from you know, from ghosting parents that are good to you? That, you know, where it's like no traumatic, you know, experiences within the bond. Like, what's
hello, happy late Thanksgiving, everyone.
There's like a real reason why people are doing this. I see, and yes, I do. You know, I do see, you know, why they'd say there's a trend, but it's only a trend of people sharing their experiences, okay, sharing their stories of, you know, their realities, you know, that they're actually going no contact with their parents. That's
I really
crazy.
want to make a video talking about the recent Oprah podcast episode that I was a guest on.
Dinosaur in that whip, nigga.
I wanted to give myself a couple days to really gather my thoughts because I fully blacked
I'm joking, a cool looking dog.
out being there in person. They referred to going no contact as being a trend, which upset a lot of people, rightfully so. Going no contact is not like doing a Harlem Shake. It is not you wake up one day and decide, oh, I'm going to cut off my family because my best friend cut off her mom 2 weeks ago. So like I said in the podcast, I knew at an early age I was not going to have a close, loving relationship with my parents. I would sit in my closet crying,
Same here, bro.
asking God, the universe, whoever would listen, why was I born into a family if my parents don't love me? I would say, like, I just need to grow up. I just need to turn 18 years old so I can move out and get
dip, bro. Oh my god. Look, bro. Look, man. You know what I'm saying? I relate. It's even to a point where, you know what I'm saying, like, the moment I was like, oh shit, alright, look, I'm not proud of like sharing this portion of a story time of mine, but yeah, it was, you know, for me it was to a point where something as ridiculous as I know I'm about to finish college, bro. I know I'm about to finish this one last leg of this thing, but yo, this whole thing, even like the pressure of academics, dog. Bro, if you are one of those kids coming up who are pressurized by your academics, I'm not even talking about like reprimanded for like getting bad academics or mid academic, I'm talking about threatened, nigga. Threatened for like, nigga, you dare fail this class or you dare fail this It's like, and then it's like the threat would be something I wouldn't even want to share on this content, man. We, you know, we trying to keep it cool over here, right? It's like, what? So as a result, bro, when it came to like just academic pressures and things, like I was like, bro, got this last semester, right? I'm almost done, but you know what? Fuck it. Because at that point, like my whole logic was, I already got, I was in my final year doing what I was doing. So, but then in my mind, I was like, yo, we didn't even, I've been dealing with the practical side. That's all I gave a fuck about. I was doing sound engineering. You feel what I'm saying? So the whole, just practicing the thing was my fascination. So I had been doing that even from the first year that I came there, because my fascination was, you know what I'm saying, it was attached to the passion that I had. So I was already practicing it. So the practical, I was like, bro, I'm thinking about it. I'm in the last year, Yeah, there's the theory part. That's also cool. I've been passing it up to this point. You know what? What I came here for, I've already got. I'm out. And I wasn't even talking about out of just doing the sound engineering thing, I'm out of this whole environment. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't even wait until maybe I was just done with that one semester, maybe get that little employment or practice enough so I can make enough money for myself, be like, okay, then I'm like, I was just like, fuck. And I remember, bro, I was going through something specific that also, you know what I'm saying, it bursted, and it made a climactic moment that led into me just like dropping everything and moving. And that was, you know what I'm saying, that was inspired by me just saying, I want to leave these people here, man. Fuck. You feel me? And it happened, right? It happened. So, damn, like, shit, I don't even know the point that they were making here, but listen.
I just didn't have the word no contact to fit into that.
Oh my gosh. This is one of the beauties about social media that I truly love, because you're able to share stories, you're able to connect with other people, and I resonate with that so heavy. Not having a father in my life, he's a bum. By definition, the man's a bum in the streets of Chicago. My mother is just extremely just as toxic, verbally abusive. Some points, a little
crazy.
It's a much. And there have definitely been times when I was in middle school. I remember these moments vivid and clear as day where I was like, you know what? I don't see myself having a relationship with this woman when I'm grown. If I'm a child now and I don't really have a relationship with you, the way you're treating me is not okay. The way we're talking is not okay. How I'm feeling is not okay. At that age, middle school, high school, what makes you think as an adult we're gonna be friends? We're gonna be talking. If I can't look to you for guidance, for support, for love, for advice as a kid, what does that do to me now as a grown adult and like actively growing up in my 20s? There's people out there like this, like her, like me, that felt this way. Hell, I bet there's some even in the
shit. I'm out here, nigga. You feel I'm out here, nigga. I don't know what point I was making in terms of, you could be from wherever in the world, you know what I'm saying? But the one beautiful thing that you cannot put past this whole internet thing, this online thing, is how you can actually discover, the minds that you could resonate with, bro. From wherever they could be from. I remember I uploaded some segment of my videos where I was breaking down, or an Asian guy was breaking down how they went ghost on their family. I reacted to that because I resonated with that. You feel? That's why it was part of my ReWAD shit. You feel what I'm saying? That's why this is part of my ReWAD shit. It's like I resonate with that. But I'm so not from like your part of the world. That's crazy. But when now we have to come on these platforms, once we have to make our way on these platforms, right? And just like share what we share and see what we attract. That's like our new kind of just like formation of new families, bro. Like that's how I see it. You feel what I'm saying? That's the one beautiful thing. Yes, the internet is toxic. It's this, that, it's the third. But this is one thing we cannot put past it, and it's cool as fuck.
But I know for me, for sure, middle school, there's been many times just crying in my room, just like, you know what? I don't know how we got here. I know I don't want to be here. I know it's upsetting not having parents, not having that relationship, but damn, I am holding on to when I'm grown. I'm holding on
by a thread, nigga.
I'm holding on to when I'm able to provide for myself, so that I know I always got me, and I know, and it kept me going, knowing that time in my life was temporary. But again, I've made videos talking about why some people are cutting off their friends and family over politics. That's light work. It's happening. With some liberals, it's there. But this stuff, you know, I'm talking on a whole nother playing field. And I'm glad it's a discussion that more and more people are being open to have.
Yeah,
I'm able to appreciate how there were so many different perspectives when it came to the experts, the children, the parents. But it was extremely triggering to be a child who cut off my family, hearing one of the parents say things like, well, my other children still talk to me, when each child has such different lived experiences. Both my sisters didn't go through the things I...
And here's one thing that I also want to point out at the same time is the fact that, yo, when we are breaking this kind of thing down psychologically, right, it you know, it does come down to the fact that you actually cut your old folks off mentally first before it manifests. You know what I'm saying? Think of the power of manifestation, right? Where does that whole I mean, that's if you're into that kind of thing. That's if you know what I'm saying, you dive deep into that kind of research and do that kind of homework, right? It's like, yo, all of that kind of thing when we're talking about, you know, creating the realities of one, it begins in the head. It begins in your mind, right? And so therefore, it's like once you have developed the mind of like, yo, first thing I do once I get my job, or once I get to a level where I can see a consistent, you know, flow of just stability here in terms of the things that can be put together so I can be by myself. The first sign of that, I'm out. You know what I'm saying? By the time you develop that mind, you've already been checked out from your younger years of being, because you've already made up your mind. You've already analyzed the whole environment, being like, yo, I don't belong here. You feel what I'm saying? And we got to take that into consideration. You see a kid that's like checked out, that's literally not into whatever they're into, this environment, whatever's going on here, this family, this friendship, this bond, like, you know what I'm saying? They'd rather be elsewhere. That's them beginning that process of checking out, and the first opportunity they get, they out. You feel what I'm saying?
I went through.
I was just talking about this with my sister on the phone literally yesterday. I understand
you're talking about.
It can be a little hurtful that she doesn't have the mom that I have. She doesn't have the dad that I have. Like, we are 6 years apart. So she grew up when she was 6. I was born. My family shit really hit the fan when I was like 4 or 5. So that puts her, you know, through her prime, elementary, middle school ages, and I was a child. She had a whole different version of my mother, a whole different version of my father that I never met, I never connected with, that I don't know. We quite literally have different parents, even though they're the same. And I feel like that's the way for a lot of children out there. Different children have different experiences.
As I say, I can attest to that. I can like resonate with that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? The fact that, yo, you know, I mean, I'm a illegitimate illegitimate kid, you know, illegitimate, like, nah, born out of wedlock, you feel me, like, and obviously, naturally, you know, the old folks, they broke up, I think when I was, like, around a year and a half, or 2, or whatever, right, and then, obviously, the people that raised you up at that point, you feel what I'm saying, they were going through their own things, they were you needed that, energy, that attention from them, and they were going through this whole thing, this moment of friction, this moment of conflict, right, and then, obviously, your development at that point is crucial. Now, you get those versions of them, and then what happened in my case is that both my mom and my dad, they went on to marry other people respectively, right? And then they went on to have kids in those unions. You know what I'm saying? So my siblings that are now born from those unions, right? It's like they get a whole different version of that person. You know what I'm saying? Respectively, my mom and my dad. You feel what I'm saying? So, and it could be like, yeah, if you know, you know.
Experiences with their parents, especially if there's different ages involved. And that'd be another great video that I should really look into doing and highlight, you know, the different perspectives of people sharing the age gaps in different families and how that dynamic is played into how, you know, your relationship with your parents has turned out. Yeah. That's a huge one. But
how it affects the relationship overall, that's crazy.
Yeah, you know, I feel bad that, you know, we all can't come together as a family, you know. She still talks to them and I don't. Yeah. But I can respect and I understand that she had a whole different version of them than I got. And it's unfortunate, but I'm glad she understands the version that I got. It ain't good. I'm glad she can see my perspective and respect that. But such a great point that not a lot of people bring up. We do have different versions of parents.
It has been 6 years since I've spoken to my mother. 6. And going no contact has been honestly one of the most peaceful and one of the best decisions I have ever made in my life. And through my healing, I have learned these 3 things about myself that honestly explain why I picked certain type of people in relationships, why I have gravitated towards certain friendships.
Yes, we were breaking down what attachment styles. That also can be, you know, influenced by also the love, also the correction, where you corrected yourself, you know, whenever you traumatized the kid. When you realize and you're like, damn, nah, that's wrong. You know, that could bring that balance of like the kid seeing things, you know, positively still, even if you was out of pocket type shit. I continue, my brother.
Scanning every environment, being hyper vigilant to the people around me, trying to figure out everybody's ulterior motives. Subconsciously, I truly was rooted in the belief that if I couldn't trust my own parent to be a safe emotional place, how could I trust anybody else?
Then I can't trust anybody. If I can't trust my own parents to be parents, how the hell am I supposed to trust anybody else out there? That took a lot for me to break through. That took a lot for me to just accept being loved, to accept loving friendships, to not think that everybody out there is going to betray me, is going to hurt me, and live life with my walls up. And I was only doing that because I felt like, damn, if the people that's supposed to be there, the people that are supposed to be giving me guidance, love, pouring into me, and they aren't there. Shit, now I look at the whole different world different now. Now I'm looking at everything different. I'm analyzing everything. Now I think there's an ulterior motive for everyone. It's a lot.
Now you're paranoid about everything and everything. Yeah,
I totally can see how that can happen to many other people out there.
Twisted way. This type of betrayal wound led me to the exact people who betrayed me. And the second thing that I have really come to understand is I also have a deep wound of feeling defective. One amazing thing about my mother is she is hospitable to anybody in need, right? We grew up with Thanksgiving being our house full of everybody who didn't have a family. Meanwhile, her actual family were being abused and mistreated, and it was just such a hostile environment when nobody was around. Like, I used to wonder and almost resent these people because I'm like, why do you guys get the best version of my mother, but we get the worst? And it made me feel defective.
This video is a damn near a therapy session. Shit. Put in the comments if you've gone through this, if you relate to this too, because that is
bro. I do. That's crazy.
Because there's so many people out.
No, I relate to it in the manner where I saw my mother go through this. You know what I'm saying? I saw my mother go through this in terms of her parental structure. You know what I'm saying? Where she, you know, the mother would treat them differently than how, you know what I'm saying, she would treat people outside of this family structure. You feel what I'm saying? And how it tore my mother apart. Like that's crazy, dog. And I can, firsthand, I could like see the effects.
And cousins
I saw it.
That are genuinely shocked and surprised when I tell them the stories of what I've gone through and the things my mother has said to me. They're dumbfounded because they do get the best version of her, and I just get the crazy side. And it's like, damn, what did am I wrong? Am I a bad person? Why are we spending this whole year fighting, arguing? Just visceral, just like not getting along. But then the holidays, it's very merry. Christmas Eve, we're at food shelters handing out food. Like we're actively giving away and have the biggest heart, which I'm not knocking. It wasn't reflective inside our own home. That's the crazy part to me. This crazy.
And so I have lived life feeling like I have this need to prove myself of my worth, and this deep wound of like, why me? Why can't I be loved? Most importantly, the third thing that I've learned about myself growing up with a narcissistic parent is I wanted to be nothing like her, and I was repeating all of her patterns. You have to fight like mother effing hell to stop the patterns that—
I'm not gonna lie, bro. I'm not gonna lie, bro. Yo, look, apart from the fact that I look like my dad's twin, nigga, listen, I look like that nigga. You know what I'm saying? In terms of like the look, like they're like, yo, trust me, it's one of those situations, yo, no DNA test needed, buddy. What? Huh? You? Him? What? Get out of here, bro. Watch out. But you feel me? Yo, characteristics that are like, that I believe, you know what I'm saying, were like the shortcomings of this nigga. It's like, dang, I see it in myself, God. And look, man, like, I think I've shared this before. Like, I'm at an age where homie had like 2 kids, but you know, at the age that I'm at, and I don't even got one. But how I see it to myself is just like how I, you know, treat people who, you know, may find themselves at a, you know, not lower position than me, but like either equal to me. So if I see you as equal, so it could be at a job, right? So, and you could be older than me, but like I'm at a job, and you know, I could still see you the same way as myself. I can see you as my equal. But then now it's like how I treat you. It's like sometimes it's so out of pocket, and then it just takes me to why I avoided the person. You know what I'm saying? In question, because they're like, I'm exhibiting literally what I avoided in them. or I'm exhibiting the reason why I avoided them in the first place. I don't know if you get it. You know what I'm saying?
You grew up with, that you normalized throughout the years.
You gotta stop. There's some things that linger on.
Stop.
I'm like, damn,
Shit.
that's probably what my mom would do. Probably what my dad would do. But in large part, that's the one I probably don't relate with the most.
Yo.
Because I vividly can see and identify, oh, I want to be this type of parent.
Yeah.
I want to be this type of father. Okay. I know exactly what not to do.
What not to do.
Vividly. I know for some people out there, they fall right in their parents' footsteps, and you're trying to break that generational curse, and it can be hard. But I think if you put that focus on what not to be, it can make things a little bit easier for you. It can. But this is, if you're not dealing with this, this is the type of stuff like adult Gen Z and millennials are having to go through and process.
I see.
Growing up with narcissistic, verbally abusive, just...
Look, bro, here's a point that I will, you know what I'm saying, put on here too, is that, you know, we can as the generation that's coming up, and you know, that's like conscious of these kind of things happening. At the same time, bro, it's like, you know, you could spot all the things that you didn't want from your own parents and things like that, and wanting to change those specific things. But you know what I'm saying, who's to say that your kid is going to be into that? Because they also gonna have their own consciousness. They also gonna have their own awareness and understanding of things, as per like how the outside, aka outside of this family structure, outside there in the world, in the streets, you know what I'm saying, that world is gonna shape up their way of understanding the world. And then obviously we've also imparted our way as this kid's parents, you know what I'm saying, of how to be, and you know, these things that I've spotted that, okay, nah, this is how I want to raise them, this is how I want to you know what I'm saying. Since I didn't want to make those same mistakes, I was conscious enough to like be woke enough to be like, yo, nah, I want to be this kind of parent. And then you apply that. Let's say you apply that, right? But who's to say that your kid is not gonna be like, bro, you smothered me a lot, bro. Come on, bro. You was at every sports meeting, every school meeting, every right? Helping me with my own homework every night. Come on, but sometimes you just gotta let me be myself, bro. You know what I'm saying? You get those kind of like, come on, bro. Like their brains can be like, bro, you're the reason why I'm soft. You're the reason why I can't like face tough decisions. There's that extreme POV to it too. You know what I'm saying? So, and I'm not even talking about you having to give your kid the, you know, absolute extreme of what you thought was right. You know what I'm saying? You could be doing the whole balancing act, being tough a little bit, but being, you know, smothering a little bit and nurturing a little bit. But I'm telling you, bro, it literally depends on like how this kid is influenced, bro, by literally these two worlds, the outer world and the inner world, aka the world in here, us, the family, and the outer world, the friends, the schools, the authorities out there, leaders out there, rebels out there. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, because of that kind of POV that can develop there, they could look at the parts where you were there for them and be like, nah, bro, it was you made me too soft because of that. It's like, huh? And then come back and be like, yeah, you remember the time when you wanted to strengthen, you know, your fist on, you know, not strengthen your fist as in like beat the kid up on some bully vibes, like, nah, but like as in strengthen the discipline on me. It's like they can use that, even if it was a healthy amount of discipline. They can literally use that on some like, nah, dog, you was bullying me. You was bullying me, bro. Like, what are we talking about? You see what I'm saying? Okay, so yeah, y'all can go and check out the whole video, bro. Like, this is a long video for the kind of video length that I react to. So I'm gonna go ahead and, you know, go to the point where I think he might be making his final, you know, parting words and shit like that. If you want to check it out, it's Amir Odom, you know what I'm saying? Because at the same time, I deliberately do this because, yo, if you want to check the whole thing with me, you just checked the portions of why we're here, right? Like, I've made my points and things like that. But if you want to, you know, really dive into this because you've grown, you know, an interest in this video, go check his thing out. You know what I'm saying? That's how my reaction style things go over here. I'm not gonna cover the whole thing because it's like, yo, cover his video, right? You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you a nice little POV of why I think this title, you know, might have been an interesting title for today's segment type shit. But anyway, you can continue, my boy Amir.
They don't want anything to do with me? They don't want anything to do with my kids? Okay. No big deal at all. Some of us have already experienced the death of a parent that is still alive. We've been mourning.
Oh, shit.
We have already cried a million tears.
The death of a parent that is still alive. It's crazy.
We have already tried a million times to reconcile. Trust me when I say we have already given a million chances for that parent to get their shit together. And when they still choose to stay the same, we gotta cut ties.
That's too real. Talked about it before earlier on in this video. Mourning a parent that's still alive. You've done everything you can to make this work, and it's just not working. All you can do is step away. That's all you can do, because it hurts. But we are in this age where we holding these.
Yo, and I'm not gonna lie, you know what I'm saying? These kids that are developing these days, they sound like they the parents. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, why can't my parent get right? You better get right, or you better. It's like y'all sound like, you know what I'm saying, the kind of people that's about to put y'all parents in timeout and ground y'all parents and shit like that. You know. But like, yo, like, so some of these is warranted. I'm not gonna lie. Some of these is like, I can see why. You feel me? I could personally like give a reason to why I think, you know what I'm saying, like we are the parents, goddammit, and they the children. Fuck it.
Parents, and assuming you know the story and telling us how we should handle the situation in the most respectful way. You show me you don't care about me, I will respectfully leave you alone. Millennials are holding their parents accountable, and it is what the fuck it is.
They got to.
It could all be so simple, but it never really is for them.
It's not. And that's what this whole video is about and trying to highlight and show. Gen Z millennials are holding their parents accountable, you guys. They are. Enough is enough. And like Oprah's podcast is a really good podcast. You should give it a watch if you haven't. Highlighting all the different stories of the different adults that have gone no contact with their parents, cut off their parents, and there were some adults sharing their stories too. But in like I don't want to conflate the two. The little tiny rise, the trend of cutting your family and friends off over politics.
Not a trend,
that's separate.
It's an awakening. It's an awakening.
No, like this is childhood. This is deep shit. This is childhood shit, you guys. That people are fighting through and working through day in and day out. And there's a group of millennials and Gen Z that has said enough is enough. I'm holding you accountable. And holding you accountable is setting our boundaries in place, maintaining my peace, and keeping it pushing. Because now that I'm fully independent, at this point, the only relationship that's there is a relationship that was built or that was there during your childhood, during your adolescence and your young adult ages. And for personally me, and I know a lot of people that have gone through this video, it was never there. So it's just a reflection of that. And even then, more often than not, the Gen Z and the millennials, they have tried everything they could to repair it, because we know what we can do. You know, this is a generation of therapy and talking things out and sharing stories and figuring out what we can do. A lot of us have done the work, tried to do the work, and it's just not received. So you know what? Enough is enough.
So shout out these boys, man. I saw the next video was like Sean C, bro. What are we talking about, nigga? You nice, my brother? You nice, my neighbor? You feel me? Yeah, the real problem with hip hop. Okay, look. It's okay, I understand the whole thing of niching and everything like that, but it's like every video gotta point out the problem with hip hop. I think that's why I fuck with Sean C. Facts. Yep. Look, break it down.
What Pusha T was saying earlier.
What was Pusha T saying, bro?
Okay, so somebody asked me to look at what Pusha T was saying earlier.
What happened?
Apparently Pusha D, I said Pusha D. Apparently Pusha
D
says that he is done with rap diss tracks.
Into what? Into who? What? Sean, you know I had a certain level of optimism, enthusiasm, you know what I'm saying, bumping into your video right here, but why am I getting the feeling I'm about to be disappointed early? What?
Been through what Pusha T was saying earlier.
Pusha what?
Apparently Pusha D, I said Pusha D. Apparently Pusha T says that he is done with rap diss tracks.
Why?
I've kind of been through the chapter and I'm over it. I'm somewhere right now where I don't even want to make music with other people.
Yep.
Nevertheless, anybody else in my music or be the focus of my music. What we're doing right here with clips is, to me, so I'm next level, or so next level. I feel like the taste level is above anything or everything else. Even being caught up in the world of it. I don't like even the world of the people, of the back and forth. If I don't see eye to eye with you, there's probably things that I don't want to be there about. You know what I'm saying? I don't know what he's saying. Why is it written? It's the ransom of what a diss track used to bring. There was a clear winner. Somebody would really bow out, and that's it. Last man standing. Now it's just a whole bunch of noise. Even after we find winners, it's still noise. And it's like, man, then what's it for? I'm gonna be honest.
Good question.
I respect and I love the year that Pusha T and No Malice, you know, Clips as a collective, have had. A brilliant rollout, amazing album, fantastic record. You know what I'm saying? Really dominated this year for rap. But for music in general, you know what I'm saying? Not just as a representation of rap, but just of what two creative minds can do in the studio when they're locked in and when they're focused. You know what I'm saying? They're not nominated for album of the year out of everything, despite being just a rap.
And we do gotta remember, these are two blood brothers. These are two, you know what I'm saying, sharers of the same DNA, bro. So they know what time it is with one another. You know what I'm saying? They know what time it is. They know how to move, how to make something sound tailored. You know, tailor-made to their sort of crafted sound, man. It's crafted sonic, like, for like a better term. God damn it.
Rap album for no reason. They really deserve that, and I hope they get that level of consideration. Genuinely, the idea though that this generally seems to be just a response to Drake's continued success.
Oh, there we go.
Or at least continued acknowledgement, despite everything that's happened after the back and forth with Pusha T and after the back and forth with Kendrick. It's kind of giving me some I wish that nigga would die energy. It's kind of giving me that. And I'm not mad that you feel that way. You know, if you don't like somebody and you genuinely want to get them out of the way, it makes sense that you would never want to hear from them again. You would never want to see their face again. You would never want them to prosper in any regard. But I do think it's extreme hater energy. I do. I think it's extreme hater shit to look at it from that perspective, to pretend as if this person holds no or serves no purpose or has never delivered any type of genuinely decent music at some point in the past. Personal issues aside, I don't know who Pusha T is referring to, whose career was ended off of a rap battle, who could not move forward beyond the point of their lowest in a rap feud. Maybe some people could argue Ja Rule, but he wasn't ended by just one person. He had his 50 Cent back and forth. He had his Eminem back and forth.
A whole bunch of back and forth.
It was a multitude of individuals. MGK is still a successful artist despite not being a good rapper. And I would argue that Eminem isn't the one that ended MGK. I mean, his career.
Wait, MGK is what now? Is he bedroom punk rock? What's the genre again? Like, correct me down below, please.
Wasn't on some like uphill trajectory by the time, you know, he got in a feud with Eminem. You would argue MGK is even bigger now as a non-rapper. Someone saying Lil Pump.
I ain't gonna lie. All hate aside, like he's making the moves. however he's supposed to do. He knows what he's doing, in other words, right?
J. Cole ended Lil Pump's career and not Lil Pump in his antics. You're sorely mistaken. Benzino, I guess anybody was listening to Benzino like that. I guess Benzino was held in high regard. I'm not mad at being a hater. I'm not. Being a hater is completely fine. Especially when you mean everything you say in those disses that you put out. I'm not mad at that.
Stand on it.
But I think this idea that you're now sick of the disses because there's some like historic standard that we've abided by where whoever lost was never heard from again and they were exiled from rap and hip hop.
Yep.
Like, when did we ever do that?
Kind of a weak theory, right?
And to be honest, that shouldn't be the standard for us exiling niggas from rap and hip hop.
It should. What? That should be the standard for us to exile niggas from rap and hip hop. Is the whole back and forth with niggas, beef, smoke with niggas? What? Like what? Bro, what happened to the whole narrative of it's what makes rap exciting, right? It's what, it's what brings the competitive nature out. Just competitive nature in hip hop. Like what are we doing? What are we saying? Like, and don't act like none of y'all ain't heard about those kind of narratives, right? I don't niggas are sicker than that. I'm not gonna lie. Look, let me give 3 rounds of applause, right? I don't know if that's what I mean, right? That's it. 3. You know why? Yo, shout out to the content creation space, bro. What? I swear this has to be off of the effects of the fact that it's been echoed in the content space that people are experiencing rap fatigue. Like what? If not that nigga, what else, bro? He himself, this brother right here, himself, this nigga. Yep, call me a rat all you want, but this guy, this motherfucker. Alright, cool. My bad. That was a little too. Yeah, don't mind that. But you know what I'm saying? He covered the whole rap fatigue type thing. Like, that's why I'm like, at this point, I mean, whoever heard it. Like I was saying, like, at this point, it's kind of getting kind of redundant. The fact that he's covering everything that's negative about hip hop, because ever since the whole content piece that I've seen from him of the rap fatigue thing, I mean, he look, great take that he had about it. Actually, you know what I'm saying, it was actually a constructive take that he had about it, a unique one, right? That's why I keep coming back to. Yeah, it's cool though. It's cool. But then again, beyond that reason, I understood the whole thing of like, niching and you gotta talk about the same thing, same angle, blah blah. But I ain't gonna lie, he does interesting takes about that whole thing. But I ain't gonna lie, rap fatigue and the whole thing being echoed within the echo chambers of the content space. I ain't gonna lie, me myself, I've shared my POV about, the rise of the rap fatigue narrative. You know what I mean? And I feel like now it's rubbing off on these rappers. Facts. They fatigued over that shit, you know what I'm saying? And it might even reveal the fact that they've been fatigued with it. It's just they had to keep up with the corniness and, the whole how to move about it and, keep up to the code of it so that you can, secure your check. Come on. So that you can make sure that your check is still stable. You signed to a major. You signed to a major. You gotta dance to their freaking tune, my nigga. You know what I'm saying? So that whole energy was necessary. Now niggas, you know what I'm saying? Now it's funny now.
Should be action dependent. But I know that these people don't want to have that conversation.
They don't.
I know people. Well, it'll be a lot more uncomfortable, and it's going to be a lot more people not being listened to if the standard for what you do or don't listen to was based off of the moral compass of what goes on behind the scenes with a lot of these guys.
But isn't that necessary?
And that would,
it's like the rug. Sometimes the rug has to be like just snatched from away from your face. You know what I'm saying? So you can see shit clearer, nigga.
Ultimately limit who Pusha T, nigga, if he decided to go solo again at any point in the future, would be able to work with. You know what I'm saying? That would limit people like Kendrick Lamar from being able to work with certain individuals, and that was one of the issues that I had when he went up against this, Drake. He went with this Drake crusade, and I don't think it's a bad thing at all to want to protect all the things that he mentioned wanting to protect in the music that he made against Drake before. But I still think that to collaborate with people that are known abusers beyond that point, it kind of makes a little bit of your words fall a bit short based off the things you said about Drake, when some of the things that you've accused Drake of objectively aren't as bad when we look at who's been proven to be this and who's been proven to be that. This over dramatic, like this devastating perspective, like what are y'all doing, man? Like how could you? Ass perspective just don't sit well with me. And see, this is my bigger point too about what Pusha T is saying.
What is it? Where is it?
For that to be the case, you want people to stop listening to Drake for legitimate reasons. Okay. So everything that Kendrick said and that you said about him in those records,
because he's been the one nigga that's regularly or just like frequently as of late, I don't know. Nah, beefs have been something that a lot of these artists are involved in, right? It's not just Drake. Maybe Drake is like the biggest one. Well, obviously the biggest beef of the year, of a couple of years that came after that, was like the whole, you know, the one that Drake was involved in. So, right? It might be the fact that people are just like tired of those kind of echoes and those kind of, maybe the kind of results that like came up out of that kind of thing. I don't know. You know, with the whole effect of like lawsuits now being the thing that are a derivative effect, you know, a derived effect from that whole situation type shit, and then now things are corny now, and now since things are corny within this space of hip hop, these guys who their brands are attached to this whole culture, you know what I'm saying? It's like their names are attached to some corniness now, and then it's like, yo, I think I see where it comes from.
You deem is true. And you also think that people should follow suit. If you got a moral compass, and obviously you would probably stop listening to Drake. But y'all gonna have to stop working with a lot of people is all I'm saying. Y'all have worked with people that are worse, that have done worse. Y'all have admittedly done worse things. Unfortunately. You just gotta keep the same quote unquote energy.
Yo, why you have to come that close, you know, to the mic, nigga? Pause, nigga. Saying all that, you know. Slow and shit, man. Watch out.
Most Drake fans don't care. I would agree with you. Most Drake fans don't give a fuck, even if he did do everything that he was accused of doing. And I will agree to this extent, he did do most of what he was accused of doing in those songs, as far as talking to girls that are of questionable age or.
Yeah, bro. Look, I think I've already extracted the whole MOS, right? Moral of story to this whole thing. I feel like onwards. You know what I'm saying? Like. I ain't gonna lie, unless I'm missing something. Let's go ahead and let Sean C finish up.
The only thing that nobody agreed to this is,
well, you know, these are one of the accusations that people involved in beefs is accusing each other of. You know what I'm saying? Wait, is that what he's tired of? Let me see that.
He was accused of doing in those songs, as far as talking to girls that are of questionable age.
Oh yeah, the Drake shit.
A deadbeat father. The only thing that nobody confirmed was the other secret love child and whether or not.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The other shit is just nothing but allegations. You know what I'm saying? It's like, what? We already given the crown for like some shit where it's like these allegations, not. You know what I'm saying? But then again, at the same time, I wouldn't think he's devil's advocate for Drake. I wouldn't think Pusha would take that position at all. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know what I'm saying?
I remember seeing something along those lines. I don't remember exactly what it was though. Like the most dangerous thing humanity, man, Drake did Hitler. You could argue that those are one of the most dangerous things, but also an inconsistent, an inconsistent man.
Inconsistency.
A morally ambiguous, or what you say, I think a morally convenient man is also equally as dangerous as an insecure one. Yeah, Pusha T, you need to fucking talk to Pharrell before you talk to anybody else. The fuck?
You don't know what I know.
He wrote this out.
You ain't seen what I saw. No. Nobody's been evicted more times than me. Lights turned off, water turned off.
We gonna do this. We gonna do the I've been poor before, so we literally at one point had the oven open for heat. At one point when I was like 5-6 years old.
Part of the culture.
Just literally not saying nothing.
The down bad talk.
And I'm not saying that those are great things to have occurred at any point, but I'm saying at the end of the day, like, he's making it seem like these are like the most unique set of circumstances that no other person has ever had to live through. And
been hip hop though. You know what I'm saying? Hip hop has been on that.
Justify him not having any political perspective today. If anything, that would generate some want for you to make sure that we would have a fair political infrastructure to where that can't be a reality moving forward.
Yep.
But he's saying that's made him apparently that alleviates him from the conversation or even having to have any type of human rights perspective moving forward. I don't know how we get there, but that's apparently where he's landed after writing out this full statement. Do you watch your parent work 2 jobs and 3 jobs and then think to yourself, nah,
Damn, I was not aware that that's P. Right?
I'ma just work harder than they.
Man that never changes. Right, that's cool. That's a W.
He
right?
did when I grow up. Like, I don't understand niggas like this.
Why
I truly
not?
do not. Like, where do you think it comes from? I think I could have accepted the first part, you know, the quote unquote soundbite from before, and been like giving some level of grace, because there is a part of me that is a little empathetic toward people that have some type of resistance or reluctance to dive into a world that they otherwise would have been plagued by their entire childhood up and through their early adulthood. And then they got rich, or they got a lot of money, and they're like, you know what, I want to live simple, I want to live simplistic,
okay,
or I want to leave those ideas and those tragedies and financial traumas and burdens behind. I do think there should be some removal from that, and it is mentally taxing to have to think about that for a majority of your life.
I see.
And I would have afforded that luxury had Pharrell been either younger or only had been in his financial position for a couple of years up until that point. However, this is you reflecting, doubling down, tripling down, and then like reframing your whole argument, and then still coming to the exact same conclusion.
So one might wonder why Pharrell has any relevance in this conversation at all, and I think it underscores the point of the overall video, where I feel hip-hop's true problem is the selective morality of the people making the music. One could argue
the selective morality of, you'd say, what about the gatekeepers too? Because I mean, the gatekeepers are the one that determine that, yo, this is what sounds hot. You feel what I'm saying? And for these guys to continue doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down on, you know what I'm saying, like standing on, you know, making sure that their music has this certain imagery and this certain degeneracy that is all of a sudden overlooked now, you know, conveniently. It's like, yo, the people that like enabled those kind of habits, those kind of behaviors are the gatekeepers, dog. Right? Because if the gatekeepers were like, because these are the people who are powerful enough to be like, yo, this plays on radio. Nah, this does not even appear on radio, not a lick, not even a second. You know what I'm saying? Not no 2 seconds long, nigga. You feel me? And the people that just give the go ahead for shit to play on TV and for your music videos to be aired, well, that was the let me say the previous era, right? When the traditional media was the whole thing about the, you know what I'm saying, about getting through. And I feel like niggas might just be salty, you know, about that too. The fact that, you know, they had to do all this grinding, you know what I'm saying, getting in front of the queue, you feel me, pay to play, payola, this, that, the third. And all that modern niggas gotta do is just upload. You know what I'm saying? Wait. Open an account. Upload. What? I'm saying, do the things independently. Yo, here are the gems, here are the ways you can win, but upload. That's it? Feel me? So now niggas is like, this is what the game has come down to. That might also be one of the things. It's like, yo, the game is not the same anymore. You feel me? And yeah, I guess niggas is coming from that angle.
Pharrell's opposition to taking a quote-unquote public stance in regards to politics pushes him way closer into the bubble of criticism that Drake also exists in than he would like to admit. A person with massive wealth and access to resources that put them in a completely different conversation than the average person. Someone who benefits from being apolitical because they know any public association to the party or side that actually benefits their bottom line would be public suicide. They have these long-winded 4- and 5-minute speeches talking about how they're not everything the media claims they are when they lie in this pool of ambiguity politically, with messaging akin to just be smarter, just work harder. The amount of artists like Pusha T and plenty of others that allow people that play in muddy water just like this within their proximity, within very close vicinity, is hilariously baffling. Tie that into the fact that Pusha T himself, for controversial posts towards his wife, quote unquote celebrating the birth of his new child, while also letting the public know that he wasn't very much so involved in it and didn't necessarily plan to be moving forward. And don't get me wrong, this isn't about be perfect or don't say anything wrong about anybody else.
Be that close,
it's about a very open and obvious level of hypocrisy that shrouds itself in nobility and righteousness, but at its foundation is nothing to its core outside of I just like this guy more than I like this one. And not for no reason. I understand why people have a disdain for Drake, especially with the way the industry and the systems at large that have a monopoly over the music industry and a very dominant power structure have flaunted Drake over the last 5 to 10 years. It's just not lost on me that some of those favors that Drake has access to, people like Pharrell, people like Jay-Z, people like Playboi Carti, that these people are so happy to work with, have their albums produced by, have them on their songs. This indoctrination of what has been classified as the hip-hop commandments, where I'm disappointed in the general public for continuing to listen to Drake.
Multiple pieces that piece together my ones. Down from mine. Yeah, cause if I'm wrong, then be done right. And I just wanna spend the day.